When young ladies are rooted in faith, trained in wisdom, and encouraged in purpose, confidence becomes a natural fruit of their growth. Welcome to Becoming Her, the podcast that empowers young women to rise with confidence, courage, and clarity. I'm your host, Essie Childers. Today's conversation is all about raising well-rounded young ladies. Research shows that while academics matter, success in life is also deeply influenced by what happens beyond the classroom. Activities like spiritual development, service, and hands-on life skills play a role in shaping confident, grounded young women. Today, we're having Megan Forsberg. We're excited to learn more about your family and how you intentionally created opportunities for your daughters to grow spiritually, serve others, and develop life skills that will carry them into adulthood. Good morning.
Good morning,
everyone. I'm sitting here with Megan Forsberg. She's a talented wife, mother of 3 daughters, and we're going to talk today about purpose, raising young ladies with purpose, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But first of all, Megan, can you tell me a little bit about you and what you do? Because I know you wear many, many hats.
Yeah, that's true, Essie. So I'm a wife and a mother, and I'm also a realtor. I work for Red Apple Realtors here in town, which is really fun. I've gotten to raise my kids, going to work with me, and seeing how I can work and be a mom, which is really great. My girls are all heavily involved in different things. I have 3 daughters. They are 15, 13, and 10.
Wow.
Yes. And they all show animals through 4-H here in Taylor County. And in fact, later on today, we're going to the Fort Worth Stock Show for the Great Freeze of 2026. It's going to be great fun. We got the car packed with cold weather gear.
How exciting. I know that y'all were pretty involved. And I was looking in preparation for this podcast. I see that research indicates that there are several activities that young ladies can participate in to create success in life, in addition to the things that they do outside of school. And so one is Bible study. So I know that you have shared with our ladies Bible class some things that you do with your family in regards to Bible study. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely, Essie. Our family does a daily Bible study on weekday mornings around our breakfast table. So we expect our kids to be up and their chores done and their breakfast eaten at 7 a.m. And then from 7 o'clock until about 7:20 usually, we do a little Bible study. And sometimes that is reading one verse and talking about it. Sometimes it's just sharing our concerns for the day and praying together. And sometimes we go through books. Right now we're focusing on Philippians 2. And we're kind of reading it over and over again because we're trying to create one purpose within our family. And right there in the beginning, it talks about having one purpose and one spirit. And it's just trying to create a harmony within our family. We also do things with our church. And so sometimes we're studying through books that we're going to do within our church. Like right now for Leadership Training for Christ, we're studying Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. And so we have read that as well. And when we do that, we do about a chapter a morning.
Oh, my goodness. So what I hear you say 2 things. Chores. They have chores in the morning before they come to the table at 7 o'clock for their Bible study.
Yes.
And so each of them have chores and there's no discussion. They know exactly what they're supposed to do.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So no arguments in the morning.
I wouldn't say there's always no arguments. Sometimes we're all human, right? Sometimes, on especially cold mornings or when they're running late, maybe they overslept a little bit. They will argue a little bit or ask for our help. And every now and then we do help them. But for the most part, they get themselves up and they get their chores done. They have rabbits, chickens, cattle, pigs, and dogs. And so they are responsible for feeding those animals. The rabbits, the heifers, and the dogs and the pigs all get fed in the morning. So they have to take care of that.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's so wonderful that they know, they have their expectations. Mm-hmm. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. Also, you mentioned a little bit about the LTC, Leadership for Christ. So talk about service and ministry. There are a couple of things I want you to talk about is Leadership for Christ. And I think that I heard that you guys are preparing to go to do a mission trip in Honduras.
We are. A good friend of ours a long time ago taught my husband that your kids will do what they see you do, not what they hear you say. And so we've tried to lead by example. In Romans 12, it tells us to use our bodies as a living sacrifice. And so the Forsbergs have really tried to pattern our lives after that. So at church, we serve with Leadership Training for Christ. I'm one of the coordinators for it. And basically what that means is it's a platform for our church to teach our young kids how to use their gifts in service for God. And so that might be a drama or a puppet script. And then later on, they might use the puppets for VBS, singing, obviously learning the Bible, reading the Bible. We also challenge our kids to memorize scripture. And so those are all things that we do with Leadership Training for Christ. And then as far as service, our family has served in many capacities, but one thing we're working on right now is our mission trip to Nicaragua. We're hoping to go in July and do a VBS for the kids there.
Wonderful.
And take the local kids to a camp.
And I know that all your girls are involved in teaching in some capacity because that's what they see you and Cody do. You and Cody have a beautiful marriage. And when I hear people talk about your girls in church, when they brag about your girls, you and Cody are doing something right. But we know that everybody doesn't have that wonderful, loving marriage. And so is this something that single moms can do as well?
Absolutely. I kind of joke with my friends that sometimes I'm a single mom because my husband travels a lot for work. And so in the beginning, when we started the Bible study, it was just me and the girls in the morning around the breakfast table. And as he transitioned to a new role and he was home more, he definitely took a leadership role and helped do some of the leading. And then now he's traveling again and he's gone a lot of weeks. And so it's the girls and I, and we're studying the Bible together. He sets the example of how to be the leader, but we still have everything that we follow through on. Just like with the kids, we've set the example on how to do their chores.
And that's so important, setting the example. We don't know. Someone's always looking at us. Someone's always looking at us, and we have to be role models because we just don't know what they may see in us, and they want to emulate what they're doing. You also mentioned about Honduras, teaching some Bible classes there, but that costs a lot of money, Megan. You know, you got 3 kids, and you got school supplies, and food to operate a household, and the heifers that you show. That costs a lot of money. So how are these your students, not your students, but your girls? How are they going to raise this money?
Well, Addison is doing babysitting, and she also cleans houses. So we have a few houses that she's able to clean and earn money for. All 3 of my girls are clean houses. Addison is probably the most skilled at it right now.
Okay, so Addison she's the oldest. She's the one who's 15. Okay.
Yes. And then Chloe, who's 13, she bakes. And so she's got some cookie orders that she'll fulfill. She also had an artisan fair at school in November where she sold cookies and toffee. And so some of that money has gone towards that. So
you have some little entrepreneurs.
I do.
You're raising some entrepreneurs. I think that's wonderful because when I grew up, we didn't have Leadership for Christ, but we had the youth ministry, and we traveled all over the state. I started doing presentations when I was 13, and we had to raise some money. And guess what I did? I baked cakes and cupcakes and sold those cakes and cupcakes to raise money, to fund my trip. And so I'm glad to hear that, people are still doing that these days, and cleaning houses. I know a lot of older people or younger people with children. Sometimes they need someone to come in and just clean for just for a day. Just
Absolutely.
small little things, maybe dusting. As a matter of fact, I hired a young lady. She needed some money to help buy her phone, and I needed some dusting. And so she came and put some polish on my furniture. So I'm able to help. And I want to put in a cookie order as well.
Okay.
So I could take it to someone that's shut in, is not able to bake. I love the way you showing them, you're leading by example. And I want to reiterate that we're talking about raising young ladies, raising young girls with purpose. And Megan is telling us how she has grounded her family through Bible study and also through ministry and life skills. Life skills. You're talking about them raising heifers. So tell me, are they in competition? Are they showing animals? Talk to me about that.
Yes, they show rabbits and they show heifers, and my oldest also shows a steer.
A deer?
A steer.
A steer, okay.
And so they've learned a lot about work ethic, but that's not, in my opinion, the most important thing they've learned. They have this something inside them that they have gained that tells them they can do anything. When you can tell a 1,400-pound animal what to do after you've trained them how to walk and do all those things, the pride that they have in how far they've come is incredible. The animals that they are showing this year, well, I guess my older two daughters are showing home-raised animals. They didn't buy animals; they raised them themselves, and there's a lot to that goes into selecting the right bull and the right heifer and breeding them together and getting a good animal out of it. They've learned a lot about life and losing animals that they've worked hard with that have died unexpectedly and how hard that is, but also that kind of life goes on.
And so I'm hearing also you have to have a balance. And so how are they balancing all of this in addition to keeping up with their schoolwork?
Yeah, so they're all currently straight A students.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Awesome.
They work hard at their school. Well, my oldest works hard because she wants to go to Texas A&M. And so she's got a goal in mind.
Well,
and then when you have a goal.
We will forgive her for that. I know that she has strong connections,
She does.
you know, with Texas A&M, with her, you know, with Cody
With her dad,
and others with Texas A&M. And I know that she'll be able to realize that dream. It's a wonderful school, even though, you know, I'm from the other school.
Yes.
But that's time management,
Yes.
self-discipline, believing in themselves. Those are all such soft skills that you and Cody have instilled into those young
Yes.
ladies. But we still have a couple more questions to tackle, and I saved some of the hard questions until the very end. And I cannot leave without talking about social media.
Oh, okay.
You know, social media and the phones, they seem to be everybody's best friend, especially with the young ladies and also with the young men. So do you have any difficulties with the girls dealing with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? They're scrolling on their phone. How do you handle that?
Well, you know, purpose is a good word, right? We're talking about purpose today. And so we start our phones with a purpose. And that is, we start with a flip phone because the purpose of a flip phone is communication only. So both of our older two have started on a flip phone and gone to an iPhone.
I hear the flip phones are coming back popular.
They're great. You can call and text on them, and it's really fun when they're trying to learn how to text using the numbers, like.
And so they graduate from
they graduate
from a flip
when they're
phone
ready
to an iPhone.
Yes, we don't have a specific age. It was different with both girls. We kind of waited until they were mature enough to obey the rules. We have pretty specific rules with phones at our house. They don't go in your room. They get charged in the living room at night. And we do not do TikTok at our house. Cody and I don't have TikTok. The girls don't have it. Chloe has an iPhone now, It is used for communication, and of course they use it for school as well sometimes,
course.
but not in school, just after school. They're not allowed to have phones in school now. And
I totally agree with that. I'm an educator for over 35 years, and my last few years in teaching on the collegiate level, I struggled with that phone.
Yeah.
It was always a battle with that phone, and we can't compete with the phone.
No.
We're not going to win. We're not going to win that battle. So I'm glad that you have guidelines and you have rules, and that they must abide by. So that's a very, very important.
I think when you start with rules, it's easier to follow them, but it's never too late to implement rules. There's a lot of good books out there that talk about why we should have rules with social media and with cell phones. And so we just kind of told our kids, this is the way it's going to be. Sorry about you. But I also know there are teenagers who realize at some point, this is not healthy for me. I'm using this too much. One thing I see is my kids will get up sometimes and they have hundreds of text messages that have come through in the middle of the night because somebody said something on a group message and everybody responded.
Wow.
My kids are asleep at night because they've got to get up and feed animals in the morning and get themselves to school. So that's never really been a problem for us. But the iPhone does allow you to set parameters, right? So our phones do shut off at a certain time where you do not get any more notifications.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
that really helps. My niece and her husband, they have decided at a certain time, I think it may be 9 o'clock, the phones have to come to their downstairs to their nightstand, and they're not allowed to get their phones until the next day.
Yeah.
And of course, they're not allowed to have the phones in school. So between 9 a.m. and 7 a.m., any texts come through, the parents will be reading those texts.
Oh, yeah. Well, we say we have access to our kids' phones at all times. Our oldest, we check a lot less now than we did when she first got it or within the first year. And one thing I always ask them, Essie, whenever I'm checking their phone is, when they hand it to me, is there anything in here I should be aware of before I read it? And that has elicited some funny answers in the past. But we check our kids' phones. I think it's all a part of helping them grow as a parent. When they're 18, I'm hoping to send them to college. And by the time they're 18, I feel like they need to be on their own on those decisions. And so as we go year by year, I have to give more of those decisions over to them to decide. I can't just let it all go at once.
Right.
But as for social media at our house, our oldest was able to get social media last year. She has Instagram. It's on my phone. So she's able to come and get my phone.
Does she have a Facebook? I say Facebook. I'm old. They probably don't do Facebook.
She does not have Facebook, although there's a possibility she will get it because she needs to use it for something specific. But again, that would be on my phone.
Right.
So she would come get my phone. I have a 35-minute timer for Instagram and Facebook every day on my phone. And so the total time that she and I both use Facebook and Instagram right now is 35 minutes. And then my timer goes off and it shuts down for the day.
So basically, Megan, you're having to control your screen time as well.
Absolutely. I think it's really healthy for adults to do that.
I think that's very, very healthy. And so we talked about a lot of things here. We talked about, how you start your day off with being in the Word. I love that the foundation, God is the foundation of your marriage. God is the foundation of raising your children. And I think that sometimes we forget the important role that God plays in our lives. So before we leave, I want you to talk about any timeless wisdom that you will share with mom who are trying to raise confident, purposeful young ladies. What would you say that they can start doing today? Doing today.
If you want to start something today with your kid, pray with them. Pray openly, pray out loud. And maybe you don't know how to pray and you're like, tell me what to do. Well, let me tell you right now. You say, Dear God. And you say, Lord, please help me with. You say, thank you so much for. I try to tell God thank you for 3 things every morning when I get up. And you ask him to help you do whatever you're trying to do. For example, help me to start my day with you and give me strength to teach me what you need to do. Right now, Cody and I are praying through guiding us into making some decisions. And we start our day praying about those things, and we end our day praying about those things. So if I wanted to do something today, I would pray with my kids.
So it's never too late. Megan, thank you so very much for sharing your gems of wisdom with us. There are a lot of moms, single moms, and also moms that are married, moms that are perhaps going through a hard time right now, but they love their children, they love their young girls and everything like that. And I still believe it takes a village to raise
Absolutely.
children. And if you're not, one other thing that I wanted to add, you see that Megan and her family, they are very, very heavily involved in church. And also the community. But your church friends, the young ladies, they need people that think like them and act like them to help guide them to make wise decisions. And when they make wise decisions, they can succeed in life, in school, and also in the career. And I just want to give you your flowers today and applaud you, Megan, for what you and Cody are doing. You're raising beautiful, confident young ladies. And thank you. I know you're busy. You're getting ready to head out of town. Much success on the show and everything like that. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule to share your gems of wisdom with Becoming Her. Thanks for tuning in to Becoming Her. If today's episode encouraged you, share it with a friend. And remember, you have the power to make decisions that shape your destiny. Choose wisely, seek counsel, and trust the process. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of young women who are learning to rise, lead, and become her. Your journey to becoming the best version of yourself starts right here. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep becoming her. I'm Essie Childers, Director of Young Ladies Success and author of Becoming